Good morning. We begin our service with the ringing of the bell and the lighting of the Christ candle. We ring the bell and we light the candle as a reminder that we are divine, each and every one of us. So if you would, you'll find the opening statement on the inside of your bulletin. Let's repeat that together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And sit with that truth for just a moment. And now let's repeat it once more. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And so it is. So our songs this morning are led by Ron and accompanied by Jeff.
Chris, there you go. Thank you. Would you please stand and we'll sing Surely the Presence right inside your front cover.
Okay, we're ready. Oh, so do we have first-time visitors here today?
Jean's got some family here today.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Megan. This is Tegan's mom, Megan. So glad you're with us today. Oh, okay. Okay. Any other first-time visitors? Well, we're so glad that everyone is here with us today, sharing their love and their energy. Whether you're here in person or on Zoom, we thank you for being here. Today, after the service, we will be having another brainstorming visioning session. This is, as we all know, our dear Sky is retiring, so we will be looking for his replacement. Pam is retiring, so we'll be looking to fill her shoes. And in the meantime, we need to imagine what we want our church to be and that this process will go smoothly and easily. So meet us downstairs after the service and share your thoughts with us. Also, after the service on every Sunday, you can check into our Zoom room and join the Zoomers in a lively discussion. In that same Zoom room at 8 o'clock on Thursdays is a book study. Right now, they are studying the Eric Butterworth book, Unity, A Quest for Truth. Now, this is going to be very disappointing, and I know it is, but Marianne has had to postpone her inner listening class. So that will not be this Saturday. So mark that off your calendar. She will reschedule for November, and she'll let you know that date as soon as she's got that firmed up. The Healing Sound Bath will be Friday, October 25th at 7 p.m. Let Nancy Lynn know if you will be attending. Space is limited, so let her know, and her information is in your bulletin. And then most importantly, 2 weeks from today, Sunday, October 27th, is our annual meeting. We will have an abbreviated service, and then we will have our business meeting, which is a requirement of the legal stuff that we have to adhere to. But we will be electing board members. If you are a member, you get to vote. But you do have to renew your membership every year. So if you have not yet turned in a renewal form to Pam and you still want to be a member and you still want to have a say, get those renewal forms to Pam as soon as possible. If you're not a member but feel like this is a place that you can call home, there are application, that's the word. Those are up here. So fill that out. And no matter what, though, whether you are a member or a friend, after the business meeting, we will have a potluck downstairs. And of course, we invite everyone to participate in that. So that's all the announcements I have. I will turn it over to Sky.
There we go. Welcome, namaste, bienvenido, shalom, assalamu alaikum, namaste, and kaya ora. That's how they say welcome in New Zealand. The light in me greets the light in you. My name is Sky KERSHNER. Thank you for letting me be your pastor for another 2 weeks before I become just a regular member again. I enjoy being your storyteller, guide, and friend, and I want to welcome you to Unity of Kanawha Valley online and also on Zoom. Thank you for being with us from wherever you are. Let's lift up our board in prayer. They have a lot of work to do as we're going through this transition, and also our prayer chaplains. And as we continue to plan for the future ministry of this church, for those in our community who will be stepping forward to help with the interim ministry team. So in your hymnal, there's the prayer, the blessing for the church, If somebody could help me out. It's in the back of the hymnal. It's in the front of the hymnal. Let's say that together. Mine is well crayoned, so I hope. Let's say this together. This is God's home. May we who come here not only find out about God, but find God.
May there be beauty in this place, but especially may it be a place where men and women become aware of the beauty in themselves. May this be a place of worship. May this be a place of instruction. May this be a place of singing. And may this be a place of prayer. But for those of us who worship, take instruction and sing and pray, may this always be a place of inner stillness where we may listen and hear when God speaks. May whoever ministers here minister in love. May whoever teaches here teach truth. May whoever serves here serve pleasantly. May everyone come into this house in expectation and go with thanksgiving. And may anyone who comes needing help go feeling blessed. May this be such a house that Jesus Christ, or any stranger, even one of the least, would feel in it that they would be present. Amen.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Let's get a unity amen on that. Woo-hoo. So thank you, Barbie, for leading. I'm guessing you've been leading the visioning meetings, and I'm glad that there will be one continuing today. Unity of Kanawha Valley, as you already know, is a special place. We come together to celebrate love and spiritual experience and spiritual wisdom in its many forms. Many of us are committed to practicing the spirituality of Jesus, who taught with his words and his actions a universal love for everyone and everything. Unity promotes the idea that the light of God, the Spirit of love, is within you, and that by practicing going within and resting within, you can discover this love. And when you find this love, or this love finds you, you become a fuller expression of this love out into the world. You don't have to do or say anything special to earn this love or be worthy of this love. It's already inside you. It's been there all along. You don't need to be born again to find this love. You were born fine the first time. I was walking through Christchurch, New Zealand 2 weeks ago, and there were some folks out on the street with pamphlets. Remember pamphlets? And they said, "Are you born again?" And I was so glad that I've been repeating this sentence over and over again, because I was at the ready. This lovely woman came up and she said, "Are you born again?" And I said, well, I have been. I've been born again several times, but those wore off. You know how that happens. But I said to her, "No, thanks, I don't need the pamphlet. I was born fine the first time." And I was so glad that and she looked at me like, I don't think she's ever gotten that answer before. And you know, that might be one of the things that sticks. She's probably thinking, "Oh, I planted a seed in that guy's heart." I'm thinking I planted a seed in her mind, and maybe 20 years from now, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe I'll be born again and she'll be a unity minister. Who knows? Because it's all good. It's all good. If you came here today to learn some metaphysical ideas and practices around love, you are in the right place. We have a cafeteria of philosophy here. Take what you like, take whatever helps you to be more loving, and leave the rest. If something today seems strange or unusual to you, we invite you to try it on. Give it, when you go out and you're buying a car and you test drive it, put it to the test and see what your own experience is with the idea. Today we will be exploring the idea that it is a small world both out in the world and also in our minds and hearts. Affirmative prayer is a central part of what we're about here, so let's do that right now. Would you soften your gaze? Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Let a smile come to your face and notice how that changes your mood. Do you feel how the endorphins are released when you let yourself smile? And would you say within yourself, I feel the presence of life and love within me. I feel the presence of life and love within me. I breathe in love, and I release any thoughts of disconnection. I breathe in love, and I intend to release any thoughts of disconnection. And if you would, imagine you are standing in front of someone you love. It might be someone sitting right next to you, or it might be someone separated by geography or time or space. Look that loving person in the eye, see them looking you in the eye. And would you say to them, thank you for being with me today. Thank you for lifting me up today. Thank you for loving me today. And if you would, give yourself a nice big yawn and a nice big stretch. And if you would stand up, please. And let's practice balancing. So we're all about balance here, both emotionally and mentally and physically. So one foot if you want to. Hold on to that pew so you don't fall, but this is the best way to learn not to fall. And let's go to the other foot. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Thank you. Find someone who's sitting by themselves across the aisle. Find somebody who you haven't met yet and say to that person, thank you for loving me thank everyone who's made this service possible. For Ron and Jeff, our hardworking heroes of heavenly humor and harmony. For Janet, our jubilant general of joie de vivre. For our board, Stephen Keith, Phil Herndon, Barbie Dahlman, Mary Beth Beller, David Getman, Laura Wellstead, and Kate Flack. Raise your hands and let's give them a round of applause. For our nominating chairperson, Sally Snyder, who's working overtime this week. And for those... It is fun. We have food. It's good. And for those called to be serve on the interim ministry team, I really appreciate the folks that have been reaching out to me and stepping up and willing to come together with different ideas of ways that you can serve to help our congregation move to the next level. For Ernie Kessel and our online hostesses and our online services, for Rich and Chris and Danny, our zeroed in Zohan. Oh, and Amy, adding that right now, editing this. It's the second time I've forgotten you. I'm sorry, Amy. Now, not forgettable. Our zeroed in Zohans of the Zoom Zone. Our daily word reader today is Nancy Lynn, thank you. And our junior bell ringer today was Colton. Colton, thank you so much for ringing our bell. Let's hear it for Colton. All right, and let's spend a few moments continuing this good feeling of gratitude and connection as we go within. So you might notice the sounds in the room as we are shuffling and adjusting to get more comfortable. You might notice the points of connection between your body and the building. Feet on the floor. Your body being supported by the pew, the bench, the chair. You might notice the sounds in the room. And you might notice your breathing. Breathing is the experience of giving and receiving. It's the experience of the circulation of prosperity. We take in what we need and release what others on this planet need. Jesus said, "Seek ye the kingdom. The kingdom is within." And so we wander around within, wondering about this mystery. Charles Fillmore taught that if you want to experience God within, Look for the experience of being alive within. You know that you're alive and aware right now. Find the edges of this energy that we call life. That same energy is the spark of God within you. The qualities of the kingdom within include prosperity and sufficiency, the sense of being enough and having enough. The sense of healing and cure and acceptance, healing for our mind, for our body, for our relationships, and acceptance for what is. The qualities of the kingdom include relationship and connection, friendship and love, as well as repair and forgiveness. We appreciate our connections, and when we need to let go, we let go with love. And the quality of the kingdom also includes a sense of guidance, a sense that the still small voice of God still speaks, that we can attune our minds and our hearts and our thoughts to be receptive to this guidance and this wisdom, trusting that the signs are everywhere and that we have only to quiet ourselves to notice and to follow. It is from this place of gratitude, this place of connection with the kingdom within, that we reach out to anyone, anywhere, in any need or trouble. Those living in fear, those who are running for their lives, those who are concerned about tomorrow and living with deep regrets about the past. Those struggling with pain, with difficult diagnoses. Those struggling with loss, with addiction. In our mind's eye, we reach out to each and every one who is struggling today. We know that God's presence is spread out equally throughout the world and throughout the universe, and that the awareness of this presence is possible for every person in every situation, with no exceptions. And for this, we are grateful.
The daily word for today is belong. As spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. A true sense of belonging is one of the best feelings in the world. It's knowing I am at home, fully accepted just as I am, and valued for my unique contributions. Today, I celebrate my belonging as a divine being, a child of God. No matter my station in life, my personal history, or my particular circumstances, I am a valued member of the human family. I extend this understanding to all others. I look beyond appearances and even my own preconceived notions to see my fellow divine beings. I honor their unique gifts, just as I would want them to honor mine. We belong together. We belong to one another. We all belong in the family of God. From the Bible, I ask not only on behalf of these, but also on behalf of those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one. John 17, verses 20 through 21.
It's a beautiful Peter Mayer song. When I was a boy, each week on Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the seas in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still. And now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything, everything, everything's a miracle. Not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When the holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. Now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Child's face and say it's not a testament. That would be very hard to say. See, and another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I tell you it can be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. Now I'm walking with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Ron and Jeff, thank you very much. That was beautiful slow version, so we could really take in every word of that beautiful song. Let's see, we've got Colton and Tegan here. Do you guys want to come up for a minute and talk with me? No? All right. No, that really was a question. If you don't want to, it's okay too, but all right.
It's okay. There we go.
All right, well, you could just listen to Tegan and I talk. Tegan, hello, good morning. How are you?
Good.
It's great to see you.
It's great to see you.
How have you been?
Good.
You're not in trouble. I'm glad you're good. What did you think of that song, Everything? Here, take that. Everything is holy now. Did you hear the song?
Yeah, but I was busy drawing a mansion.
Oh, nice. I bet it's a beautiful mansion, too. Yeah. So how was the mansion? What inspired you to draw a mansion?
Because I went to a beach house once that had 3 floors and it felt like a mansion, so I was trying to draw it, but it wasn't on the beach.
You were bringing it up in your memory. Yeah, nice. It's beautiful. And Colton, Phil, how are you? Let's hear from Phil. Phil, do you want to be here today?
The biggest kid here.
Yeah, the biggest kid here. I love your shirt. What's on your shirt? It's like...
Hello Kitty.
Oh, Hello Kitty. And what's on yours, Colton? Oh, is that That's a Volkswagen.
Trucks and camping and
Trucks
cactuses.
and camping. Excellent.
Camping.
You're going camping?
Yeah.
Excellent. One.
There was a choo-choo train.
There was a choo-choo train when you went camping? Uh-huh. Anything?
There wasn't no choo-choo train.
Oh, there was no choo-choo train.
No, it was on the train track.
I was on a train track. I'm just trying to follow. I'm doing my best here.
There wasn't no choo-choos on the train track.
No choo-choos on the train track, so you could cross on the car, maybe.
He likes to see the train when we come in, and there was no train
Oh,
today.
there was no train when you come in.
tracks.
Yes, gotcha. Thank you for that. Okay. Well, let's get a card. And would you like a card? Beautiful. And would you
Pick a
like a
card.
cold card?
Pick a card.
Yeah, that's a good one. What does that one say? Can you let Phil read that for you? It has words.
Turn it over. I count my blessings one by one.
Nice. Oh, you've got a long one. What does yours say?
I am strong enough and good enough.
Excellent. Those are both good ones. To count our blessings and to remember we're strong enough and good enough. Let's close our eyes and take a nice deep breath and take in those thoughts. I'm strong enough and good enough. Mother, Father God, we give thanks for these children and for the kid in each and every one of us. Amen. You still hear that? I do too. All right, thanks for coming up.
Let's go back.
See you later. Let's hear it for our kids, our parents, our grandparents, everybody involved in those kids' lives. Well, I am retiring as your pastor at Unity of Kanawha Valley. I'll be here for 2 more Sundays. I hope you will come to the Sunday 2 weeks from now, because besides the annual meeting and the amazing potluck, you will have a chance to roast me or whatever they call that thing when we get a chance to formally say goodbye from my role. Not goodbye to me, but goodbye to this role that I've been covering for the last 20 years. Woo-woo! It was my 20th anniversary as your pastor 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and so it seems like a fitting time to take the jacket off and leave it for someone else. Danny Walker sent me a joke. After I retire, I'm going to open a restaurant. I'm going to name it the Karma Cafe. There will be no appetizers, no entrees, no drinks, no side dishes, just desserts. Everybody gets their just desserts. The Karma Cafe, never mind. All right, so put your hand on your heart, please, and repeat after me. This is my heart. Through it, I am connected to my neighbor and to my God and to myself. I am learning to trust it in all things, and I am grateful. Well, I had a wonderful time in New Zealand and Australia. The flight to Australia was 18 hours. Coming back from New Zealand, it was 12 hours. 12 hours now seems doable. 18, that was a little tough, but 12 is doable. It was interesting having crossed the international date line, because everything's like, I still don't know where I am. We got back at 4 a.m. yesterday, so I don't know if I've slept or not, but it's been a fun. It was a great time there. The way people introduce themselves in New Zealand, because there's this strong combination of British culture, Chinese culture. There's a lot of Chinese folks who have immigrated to New Zealand, and Maori culture, which is the native islanders. I didn't know this, but words like tattoo and taboo come from those cultures, from the Maori language, the Polynesian cultures. And unusually, from an American perspective, the Maori in both the South and the North Island all have one language. So it's not like all the tribes we have here of the native peoples in the United States with different languages. These are all one people. And they have done an amazing, amazing job of combining these two cultures and these two languages, so everything is in both languages. And the language, the Maori language, is written out in English letters. It's not Cyrillic or Russian kind of letters, but still really hard to pronounce. But the way you introduce yourself is you say like this: my name is Sky, my mountain is Spruce Knob, my river is the Kanawha River, my place is the birthplace of rivers, the Ohio, the Potomac, the Gauley, the New, the Cheat, the Elk, and the Kanawha. My people are the Kershners and the Kennedys, the Leons and the Villalobos, and my name is Sky. And that's how you say hello. There's something about stepping into the natural world. Maria and I are big hikers and big gardeners. We used to be much bigger gardeners, but now we appreciate gardens. We spent most of our time, when I wasn't at the conference that I was there for, hiking around. These experiences reminded me very much of the beauty of West Virginia and the interconnectedness of everything, especially through nature. No matter where we are in the world, we find ourselves dealing with the same beauties and the same blessings and the same challenges. And I want to share with you a conversation I had with a gardener while I was in Wellington, New Zealand. That became a sort of metaphor for me for the spiritual path that we walk on. So I wasn't able to cast it to the big screen, so I'll old school it from my laptop here just to share with you some of the beauty of New Zealand. So this is on the ferry between the South Island and the North Island. And then, of course, I got a Milky Way shot taken with my iPhone, no less. So that's pretty amazing. This is outside of Mount Cook, the highest mountain. Sir Edmund Hillary is from New Zealand, so he's a famous person there. These are paintings from the photographs that I took. And this one, yeah, that's the mountain that Mordor from the Lord of the Rings, because that was filmed in New Zealand. This is it. That's the Sauron's mountain, Mordor, where the final thing. It's a lot of things. But this is the picture I wanted to show you. Any idea what I should know? I'll just talk louder. So we were in Wellington in the botanical gardens, which are absolutely beautiful. You take a cable car up and then you walk down for like 3 hours through these gardens. And at one point we were in this rocky garden, and I saw this plant that I recognized. And it's this plant here. And the reason I recognize this plant is because it is the bane of my existence. This is a weed, an ivy that has taken over the circle garden right in front of the house. And Maria and I have done everything we can to get rid of it, burning it, poisoning it, praying over it, cursing it, and nothing worked. And finally, before we left, we covered the whole circle garden with plastic, heavy, thick plastic, hoping to just I don't know what, smother it out. And here it was, in this garden, in this rock garden in Wellington. And I thought, oh my God, they have the same thing. And it was like there was Columbine growing up, and this thing was growing up, and it hadn't taken over yet. And I thought, oh, no. Because they're really careful in New Zealand. When you go in, you can't bring anything in. New Zealand is the last place that humans arrived at in the world. It's so remote. It's like even humans were in Alaska before they were in New Zealand. I mean, pick the most remote places, and New Zealand is like the last place. And they are really careful about what kind of animals. They have no snakes. They don't have kangaroos. They've been very careful about their invasive species, but here this thing was. And I thought, oh, no. I said a couple words under my breath, and I said to Maria, if we see a gardener, I'm going to talk to this guy. And 2 hours later, we ran into this guy with a crew of volunteers, all in their 80s, who were weeding out part of the garden. And this garden, this botanical garden is it's 50 acres. I mean, it's enormous. And every piece of it is gorgeous. So this is the guy I want to talk about, because I said to him, hey, and I showed him the picture, and I said, do you know what this is? And he got this pale, he said, where did you take that? And I said, up there in the rock garden. He said, I know. And then we talked for 15 minutes about what you can do, and you know what the answer is? You can't do anything. You can't do anything. The two questions I had is, what is this? And he knew what it was. He told me the name. I took a movie of him telling me what it was. And what can you do about it? And then he fell silent. And I thought for a while about what a small world it is that as we talked about this and we came to the end of all the different things we had tried, we both just stood there in silence and kind of shrugged our shoulders and said, yep, that's the way it is. I was really disappointed. I was hoping that he would, he's a professional, right? He's been doing this. He's got a team of gardeners. He's a botanical guy. And I thought, but no, we were both reduced to silence, realizing that from halfway around the world to where we were standing, the same challenges persist. And that conversation got me to thinking about how often we encounter invasive weeds in the gardens of our own thoughts. These persistent negative patterns that keep showing up no matter what. How many times we think we've removed those negative thoughts, and then realizing that one of the things that binds us together as human beings is not just our joys, but also our struggles and our shared responsibility to nurture that inner garden of our mind. Jesus tells a beautiful parable about the weeds. Some of you may know it as the weeds and the tares. This field of wheat, they're walking along, or he tells the story that a man sowed good seed in a field, but while he slept, an enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat. And when the workers asked, should they pull out the weeds, the owner told them to let them both grow up together until the harvest, when the weeds could be separated and discarded. This is an interesting parable. It's one of Jesus' shortest parables. And those of you who, I know we have several Carl Jung fans in the room, may recognize this is a parable about wholeness. It's a parable of completeness, that you can't, and as Jesus explains in one of the other Gospels, if you try to take out the weeds, you're going to hurt the good stuff. You're going to step on the good stuff, and it's going to be more of a mess. Carl Jung saw this parable as a sense of letting everything be for now, not trying to get rid of those things that you don't like because they keep coming back. And so it's a sign of wholeness. Carl Jung called this the shadow, the part of yourself that you're trying to get rid of, and it keeps coming back. You throw it out the front door, it keeps coming back in through the back window. This isn't necessarily those things that are bad about you. They might be your gifts. You might be ignoring, your shadow might include the good things about you that you're embarrassed about, or that you don't think it's okay for you to feel healthy pride about. So it's not just like secrets. It could be anything that makes you nervous that you're trying to get rid of. Emily Cady in Lessons in Truth says that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Like seeds in a garden, both positive and negative thoughts will grow when we give them attention. And she recommends through constant, continual positive practices, positive prayer, meditation, self-awareness, that we become conscious gardeners of the garden of our mind. Eric Butterworth says the responsibility for your experience lies not in the world around you, but in the thoughts that occupy your mind. So just as the gardener in Wellington and I learned that there are no good fixes for some weeds, I want us to think for a few moments about those difficult thoughts that sometimes invade our minds that we would probably love to get rid of, but maybe they're for good, and we might just try to accept them. Some examples of these thoughts from my life: fear and worry. What if I fail? What if something bad happens? I'll never be able to handle this. As you know, I'm an Enneagram 4. I have a huge fear of missing out, FOMO, right? When it comes to a choice, I obsess about the choice because if I do this, I'm going to miss out on this. And when you go to a conference and there are all these choices that you have, like there are 5 things going on at once, and I want to go to all 5 of them, and it's like, oh, what's the perfect choice? I see some of you nodding with this. Right, that's one of those invasive weed thoughts that I just have not been able to get rid of. Fear and worry become a trap for my mind. Obsessing that there's a perfect answer for this becomes a fear, an invasive thought in my mind. As an Enneagram 4, we always have this sense that we're missing something, that there's something incomplete, or that there's just one more thing that I need to have this moment be perfect. So we're always kind of searching for this perfect moment. Believe it or not, I used to be afraid of traveling, and it's almost embarrassing to say. I remember 40 years ago, some friends, we were planning on renting a beach house. And so we gathered together for dinner, and we were looking at different options, and we were talking about, where did we want to go? And I was considering not going, and you know what my reason was? Because it might rain. Yeah, I know. I'm embarrassed too. Right. I was serious though. We were going to be there for a week, and I literally said, what if it rains? And people looked at me like, what, are you crazy? And I was like, it was like expensive, and like if it rained, and I'm so glad for 100,000 reasons that Maria said yes to marrying me, because in Costa Rica, you don't let the rain stop you. If you let the rain stop you, you wouldn't. But you wouldn't leave. But the best part about it is, just because it's raining now doesn't mean it's going to be raining in 15 minutes or raining where you're going. In New Zealand, they say you can have a year's worth of weather in one day. And we found that was really true, from snowing 1 minute to raining to bluebird sky, all in the same day. I also sometimes have fears about not being good enough, that others are more talented than me, and so why should I try? Why should I do things with my gifts? Other people have it covered already. I'll never measure up. These thoughts certainly can block our confidence and cause paralysis. I love hanging out with Barbie, but she's such a good artist. I love coming and hearing Jeff and Ron, but they're such good musicians. I remember when you and Ryan Kennedy and Jeff did, what's that Van Morrison song that I used to do that I stopped doing after I heard you guys do it? Yeah, Into the Mystic, right? You guys did such a beautiful job. I went home and just packed my guitar away. I said, yeah, I know, right? It's like...
That's why we got rid of Ryan.
Oh, that's why you got rid of Ryan. I was wondering what happened. I noticed that he wasn't here. But right, isn't that weird? This thought that why should I bother doing something with a gift just because other people are gifted as well? Can anybody relate to this? Right, thank you. Yeah, these invasive weeds that come up in the gardens of our minds. I get a little perfectionistic and controlling sometimes when it comes to buying a plane ticket. I tell Marie and the kids, don't bother me for the next 2 hours, because I noticed if anyone tries to talk to me during the 2 hours that I'm trying to find the perfect plane ticket at the perfect cost, I will take their head off. Stephen, okay. Yeah, okay, good. I didn't know I was going to be speaking to you directly, but thank you for that. But now I know, it's like, okay, Dad's buying tickets, everybody just leave the house. You may as well just leave the house, because I'm going to be a mess. And I don't know why I'm so hard on myself, because you never get the perfect ticket, right? Or maybe you do, but who knows? It's like, I don't know how Peggy does it with the websites, because I will spend 3 hours trying to get everything aligned and every comma aligned and every margin aligned. And if it's not just right, I will spend a half an hour getting that one line to match up with. It would drive me nuts. And the last one that I want to lift up that I think is pretty pervasive for most of us is fear of change and uncertainty and the unknown. What if things go wrong? What if they don't go according to plan? What if there is no good plan? What if I can't handle the change? I really want things to stay the same. I don't want things to be different. My friend Marty Comer, who's the retired psychiatrist at behavior medicine, said there's no such thing as the fear of the unknown. I said, what? A lot of people are afraid of the unknown. He said, no, Sky, there's no such thing as fear of the unknown. What you're afraid of is what you're imagining onto the unknown. It's what you're putting onto the unknown that's scaring you. If it's unknown, can you just let the unknown be? Do you have to fill it in with that thing that you're afraid of? And I see a lot of you nodding. And so I want to encourage myself and us to kind of notice these mental weeds that we come across. Each of these weeds is difficult to eradicate. We probably do more harm to ourselves if we try to eradicate them. And so I'd like to recommend that that advice that the Buddha gives to his disciples, that when these weeds show up, that we have patience and compassion for ourselves, and that we learn to accept them. I know I've told this story before about the Buddha was meditating, and he would go into these long periods of 4 and 6 hours of meditating. And the story or the parable is that fear showed up at the gate to the monastery, and the disciples saw that fear was trying to get in, and so they drove it away, and they got their sticks, and they kept fear from coming in. And when the Buddha came out of his meditation, they were all a twitter, and they said, "Oh, you'll never guess what happened. Fear showed up at the gate, but don't worry, we drove it away." And the Buddha said, "Next time fear shows up, invite it in for tea." Right, and so it's this difference between trying to eradicate the weeds, those things that are plaguing us in our lives, or accepting them, inviting them in for tea. We see this getting played out in the political arena, the idea that there are bad people and that we ought to get rid of the bad people. Right? It's the same thing. Right? Why not create a diverse garden? Why not create a garden where we recognize as, was it Man's Search for Meaning? Who wrote Man's Search for Meaning? Viktor Frankl wrote, one of his observations of being in a Nazi concentration camp is that you have good people and bad people on all sides. Isn't that interesting? Some of the Nazi guards actually snuck food in, and some of the prisoners were actually quite cruel to their fellow prisoners. Why not allow more diversity in the garden? Well, I appreciate you all being here today. I'm so glad I could be here today. I want to thank you for everything, including letting me take these long trips to places like New Zealand. And just this little reminder that we have amazing gifts as humanity, and we have amazing struggles. We have the same beauty everywhere in the world, and we have the same challenges. And all in all, it's the same spirit that connects us. We don't have to fight these weeds alone. We have professionals all around the globe who can help us to identify the weeds and learn to find some comfort in accepting them. But I also find some comfort in knowing that the super professional of the Wellington Garden is struggling with the same weeds that I'm struggling with. So I want to encourage you and myself to continue to practice these spiritual practices of positive thoughts, to cultivate our inner gardens, and to nurture peace and love for ourselves and for each other. Amen.
Thank you, Sky. Unity, Stephen wants to say something?
Before Sherry gives the offering blessing, I just also wanted to announce that today we're launching the Danny Blair 14-day Halloween offering challenge. So he brought in these trick-or-treat buckets up here. Feel free to take one home with you. It's not to put candy in. Carry it around for the next 2 weeks. All of the stray change you find at the bottom of your pocket, the bottom of your purse, your car seat. Drop in one of these buckets, bring it back in for the annual meeting, and we'll celebrate the riches. Thank you, Danny.
I have heard that called tithing on unexpected income. So that's a great little way to do that. Thank you, Danny. Unity of Kanawha Valley is a tithing church. 10% of everything we take in goes out to bless others. This month, in honor of John Beck, we are tithing to the ALS Association. So I will invite Sherry and the ushers to come forward for the offering blessing.
Thank you, Janet. And thank you, Sky. and thank all of you. If you would, inside your bulletin is the offering blessing, and if you would join me, and we will start now. Divine love, moving in and moving, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I see. I forgive you love, I trust God, and I am grateful.
Voices are calling round the earth. Music is rising in the sea. The spirit of love fills the air, guiding my journey home. Where is the path beyond the forest? Where is the song I always knew? I remember it just around the bend. In the village, the music never ends. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. By the way, that's your part. Voices are calling round the earth. Music is rising in the sea. The spirit of love fills the air, guiding my journey home. Here is the path beyond the forest. Here is the song I always knew. I remember it just around the bend. In the music, the village never ends. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. Jeff Hart. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground.
just to remind everybody, I'll be in the back after the service for blessing or prayer. Blessed divine love, you created this world and you created each of us. We are grateful that that which lives within us makes us united and one in this smaller world. We are grateful for this circle of friends, for everyone in this community. We are grateful for the resources and the time and the treasure that we share, and that this sharing goes out in your perfect order. And so it is. Amen.
Now, if everyone would get together, we'll make a circle for our peace song. We do have some Zoomer birthdays: Clarence Parkins, Nina Darnell, and Kathy Summer Buss. Now, anybody else celebrating a birthday or an anniversary or anything you'd like us to celebrate with you? Okay, well, let's sing happy birthday to our Zoomers.
Just let me know and we will make that happen. Danny?
And if you really want to have some fun, fill up those little buckets and watch Barbie count the money.
All of your pennies.
I was wondering about that. All of your pennies. That change.